The chairman of the State House of Assembly Committee on Information, Chief Imo Okon, has supported government's decision to borrow 600 million naira to boost the state's ability to pay its counterpart funds for Millennium Development Goals project, describing the decision as a great service to Akwa Ibom State. Chief Okon stated this during a chat with newsmen in reaction to several matters of public interest. He said the MDG projects, which include the building and rehabilitation of schools, water and electrification project, as well as road construction, would greatly improve the living conditions for Akwa Ibom people and would enhance government's development efforts.
We have some in schools, secondary schools and even primary schools. We have water projects, we have even road projects that really improve the welfare of the people. It spans all over the state. I have it in my constituency, and I would also be interested that the project is completed. But if we abandon it, it will not be in the overall interests of the state.
On the affirmation of the governor's election by the Supreme Court, Chief Okon, who is also the member representing Ibom State constituency, said that the judgment was not just a victory for the governor but for Akwa Ibom people, as the governor's development efforts in the past 8 months would be sustained. While condemning disparaging comments by some against the Supreme Court judgment, Chief Okon noted that the court acted in accordance with the Constitution and held the state governor for being magnanimous in victory. Chief Okon maintained that power was a gift from God to anybody he chooses at a particular time, stressing that it was important for people to learn to accept defeat in good faith, as the progress and unity of a state was greater than the political interests of an individual or group. He called on members of the opposition parties in the state to learn from the other states like Lagos and Rivers, who accepted the decision of the court without reservation. The assemblyman also assured Akwa Ibom people that the House was working hard to ensure that the 2016 budget was passed on time so that its implementation by the executive could begin.
Peace, and we tell our brothers that there must be an end to litigation. The Supreme Court has decided, if it is not the will of God that this is your time, maybe to lead a Bible said you may not be able to lead. So I call on all of them to join hands and let us develop the state.
The annual general meeting AGM of Atianang, arranged by the organization's International Executive Council, will hold on Saturday 13th February 2016 at Chief Godswill Akpabio Hall, Okanikontoen in Esenodam local government area. The international president of Atianang, Elder Imoeme, announced the date when he fielded questions on a special television interview program with a member of the organizing committee for the AGM, Barrister Mike Ebong, and a member of the Atianang Education Committee, Mrs. Odrak Olufemi. According to him, Atianang members from USA, Canada, UK, and Ireland have started arriving the country for the AGM, which will also feature the election of new international executive officers. He maintained that the Education Committee of Atianang, headed by Professor Maria Krog, has already selected 100 students of Akwa Ibom State origin in tertiary institutions across Nigeria for the award of scholarships, and 144 pupils from 12 public primary schools who excelled in academics to receive packs containing educational materials.
Directing our people, our young ones aright in the way that we want to go, and of course guiding them, so that they can be properly guided to reading whatever profession they choose to go.
That you have to promote excellence in children so that they can now graduate to secondary school and others. So we have educational materials that include a lot of things that elementary people will need for school that we give out.
You just come out, but even though you did it, I need to recognize the fact that then the guy you give you and the guy you pay on the guy you pay, the guy you pay is no good. So you know more. You know, you make sure that because of that you are more. I want now you look at the neighbor and you see you can't need some. You can't give on what you don't need.
Accordingly, the International Executive Council, on behalf of the Board of Trustees and members, has invited Governor Udom Emmanuel as special guest of honor and wife Martha as Mother of the Day during the dinner marking the closing ceremony. The invitation is also extended to the Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, as guest of honor, while the Senator representing Ikot-Ekpene Senatorial District and Senate Minority Leader Chief Godswill Akpabio and wife Unoma are billed as principal guests. Also invited are the Secretary to State Government, Saite Kamba Moren, all members of National and State Houses of Assembly, all commissioners, all Transition Committee chairmen, and other political office holders of Anang Extraction. Equally invited are the leadership of Mbom Barawai Bibio, Eson Laboro, Afi Wadikit, and other socio-cultural organizations. We'll take a short break at this point. When we come back, more news for you. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. The General Superintendent of Assemblies of God Nigeria, Reverend Chidi Okarafo, has condemned what he termed sponsored media reports on the purported divisions and decentralization of Assemblies of God Nigeria, describing such publications as lacking in merit. Reverend Okarafo made his position known last Sunday while addressing the church faithful at the Ikot-Ekpene District headquarters of the church. The report is here presented.
The General Superintendent, who was in Ikot-Ekpene as part of his pastoral activities, said the problem of the church is caused by people who have refused to subject themselves to the leading of the Holy Spirit. Citing the Bible in Matthew chapter 16 verse 13 to 18, Reverend Okarafo said nobody can destroy God's church, but added that any church founded on tribal sentiments, material wealth, and man-made principles is bound to hit the rocks. He prayed God to continue to guide and bless the General Council, South-South Zone, and Ikot-Ekpene District, as well as the church nationwide. Addressing the press after the service, the General Superintendent said, the Assemblies of God is a formidable gathering of God's children, duly registered with its certificate of incorporation, adding that every project or reforms of the church must go through due process and should pass through the Resolution Committee and the General House. He warned the faithful not to be distracted while avoiding the use of violence in any agitation for change. The cleric pointed out that leaders in the church do not have to support what he described as division or decentralization agenda, which will not augur well for its over 60 million branches the world over. The clergyman cautioned members to remain resolute, asking the members to disregard rumors peddled on pages of national dailies, claiming that people of the South-South have exited the church, attributing it to evil-minded people.
Signed by all the church leaders of all the zones. This one is from Okala area. This one is from Uyo district. This one is from this one is from.
Reverend Okarafo explained that the Assemblies of God in the South-South Zone, comprising Benin, Warri, Delta, Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, Uyo, Eket, Calabar, Goja, and Abudu, are divided into 5 zones, with each zone having a representative at the National Committee. The detractors do not desist from their evil plans and follow the right track. The full weight of the law would fall on them. Also speaking, the District Superintendent of Ikorekbene, Reverend Chrysanthus Samson, expressed his delight at the General Superintendent's pastoral visit and commended his spirit of humility despite the challenges facing the church. Reverend Samson, who described Reverend Tidio Karafo as a believer and defender of the truth, advised him to be courageous, expressing optimism that God, who is the owner of the church, will fix the seeming difficulties soon.
The desire to acquire more knowledge outside the classroom may have been why the students of Loreto Secondary School visited the AKBC transmitting station at Ntaganyang to learn more about some facilities used in broadcasting. On arrival at the station, the students were received by a television transmission director, Mr. Emmanuel Efiong, who took them round some units of the station. At the television studio, Mr. Emmanuel Efiong explained to them the components and functions of a studio in a broadcasting outfit. He told them that the television transmits video and audio signals and that this is made possible with the use of machines such as the vision mixer and the audio mixer, which makes sure that the pictures and the sound go together. The students were also shown to the transmitting hall, which houses the transmitters and other electrical components which make transmission possible. At the radio transmitting unit, the students were shown to the library and transmitting hall, which accommodates the 90.5 FM transmitters. The technical officer, Edem Ofiong, explained to them the frequency in which the radio transmits, adding that FM means frequency modulation, while AM is for amplitude modulation. He took them through the equipment used in transmissions such as microphones, audio mixer, display back machines, while also explaining that the studio is usually made up of acoustic materials to make it soundproof. A staff of the school, Mr. Iyangwe Odo, and one of the students, Victoria Isaiah, in their remarks expressed appreciation to the corporation for giving them the opportunity to learn more about broadcasting.
We appreciate the management of AKBC and we say kudos.
The knowledge we have today, we promise to make proper use of the knowledge we've gained today, to emphasize on all these things, read more.
Governor Dom Emmanuel has performed a groundbreaking for Thompson and Grace Medical City project at Afaobo in Abak local government area. The project will on completion have a medical university, 505 megawatt combined cycle power plant, as well as an infusion and dialysis concentrate plant. Elijah Edad was at the event for AKBC Channel 45 News. His report is here present.
In the initiative of the Thompson and Grace Group, the State Commissioner for Health, Dr. Dominic Ukpong, described the project as one which will greatly assist in remodeling the development of the healthcare delivery in the state. He further described the project as a hope which on completion would not only meet the needs of the people but also transform the society through ancillary economic activities as well as provide employment opportunities.
We also know for certain that the manifestation, the fruits of that, is a man that can look at a bush and see a city in that bush. It's a mark of great vision that we have such men, and I'm proud today to be an Akwa Ibomite.
Goodwill messages were presented by Very Reverend Father Christian Osunguru on behalf of the host community and eminent Nigerians, among them the paramount ruler of Abak local government, Obon Christopher Paul Ukbe, the Deputy Vice Chancellor Academics, University of Uyo, Professor Nomfonokpan, Infrastructure Concession Regulatory Commission, Mr. Minu Diko.
For like a star that led the wise men to the birthplace of Christ, our community shall be sought after through the services which your organization shall offer.
Be reminded that you can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org. You can follow us on Twitter at AKBC45UYO. You can find us on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45. That's our package for this morning. But before we go, another look at the top stories. Governor John Emmanuel has performed the groundbreaking for Thompson and Grace Medical City project at Afaobong in Abak local government area. The project will, on completion, have a medical university, 505 megawatts combined cycle power plant, as well as an infusion and dialysis concentrate plant. That was the news. Thank you for watching. Do have a blessed day. Good morning.